morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stage 2 of the 2016 Amgen Tour of California. Another great day of racing on tap as we head for what is going to be another very fast day of racing. Brad Zoner alongside Dave Toll. Before we move into today, Dave, let's go back and talk about yesterday. What a champion we had on Stage 1 as Peter Sagan sprints to the win to move him into the yellow jersey. We're going to be meeting Peter here in just a little bit, but how about yesterday's stage? Peter was perfect in the sprints.
Well, he really was. That headwind that they were sprinting into changed the game yesterday. It suited Peter has got some pretty good karma rolling for him here in California, no doubt. So it was Wouter Wippert, the Dutchman, who finished second for the Cannondale team. He's going to be very hungry for a stage win. We'll see if the sprinters get a shot today. It might be a reduced group. It may be a breakaway. But, Brad, yesterday, what a way to open the account. The world champion winning stage 1 and taking over our race leader's jersey. So that's the scenario there. Let's talk quickly, Brad, about the men we'll see in our category leader's jersey as Wouter Wippert will be wearing green as our points leader.
Yeah, because Peter Sagan is going to be wearing the yellow jersey. Now, technically, Sagan leads that points competition because of his win yesterday, but you can't wear two jerseys at once, so that jersey goes to the second place rider. Talking about our green Visit California Sprint Leaders jersey. Then we're also going to be looking at the Lexus KOM jersey. This is our climbers competition, which is another points-based competition.
Yeah, and it's Oscar Clark putting that jersey on his shoulders today. Oscar racing out of Georgia for the Citadel Holowesco team. So he's certainly going to be looking forward to a big day today. Now, Brad, we have a rider in our field named Jeffrey Curran, who we will be definitely talking to today. Jeffrey's grandma grew up about 2 blocks away from here. And it looks like we've got Taylor Finney. What a great way to start the day for you here at the Amgen Tour of California.
Coming to sign in here on the Amgen Breakaway from Cancer sign-in stage. We're going to be meeting each and every rider from the race today as everyone has to come check in. And Taylor will have the honor of being the first to sign in for Stage 2.
Hey, good morning, Taylor. We'll let Taylor take care of the business here first. But Taylor, a 6-time world champion, a 2-time Olympian, a multiple-time national champion, and a friend of the family, no doubt. Looks like yesterday things were going pretty well for you, Taylor.
Yeah, it went all right. I've been looking forward to this stage for a while. I spent most of my winter in Los Feliz. So I rode up through South Pasadena a lot, and I've done this climb a lot, and yeah, it's going to be difficult.
Nice. So, hey, yesterday we saw on the television you having a chat with Lachlan Morton at I would say about 10 miles to go or so in the race. It's got to be nice to be kind of catching up with some of the guys you haven't raced with yet this year, like Lachlan.
Yeah, I like to have a good time at the back when things are a little more chilled out. It's great to have Lockie here, his brother Gus. I have a ton of friends that I get to revisit when I come to these races, so that's great. Yeah.
You know, Taylor, I remember you winning out of groups. I've seen you win sprints like yesterday's before. Were you thinking about contesting on the way into San Diego, or did you decide to lay back? I got to think that the big stage coming up on Friday is your top priority here at the Amgen Tour this year, Taylor.
Yeah, we were working for a guy on our team named Jempy. It's short for Jean-Pierre. I like to call him Jean. So he was doing the sprint yesterday, and we were trying to help him out. It's my first race since doing the Classic, so I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things, and we'll see how today goes. I think it'll be pretty hard, but it could be a small group. We'll see Greg Van Avermaet, how he's feeling, and it's a long week. It's a hard week, and definitely a long week. So.
No, absolutely, and you guys have a lot of objectives. When you're out there in the peloton, Taylor, I know you lived in Italy for a while when you were growing up. How's your Italian these days? Are you able to intercept any messages that maybe they wouldn't think you'd get?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of intercepting of messages, but I can speak Italian.
But no espionage, apparently. Well, hey, Taylor, have a great day out there. Taylor Finney, ladies and gentlemen, of the BMC team. Brad, I think it's fair to say he's the biggest star in American cycling right now. Taylor,
no doubt about it.
Taylor just won a world championship in Richmond. You were there for the team time trial. His teammate Rowan Dennis also on that squad. He was an Olympian as a high schooler. That says a lot right there.
You generally have a pretty good outlook on your sporting career.
Yeah, Taylor. So I guess we know what year Taylor graduated. 2008 class of Boulder High. As Taylor ends up going to that Beijing Games and ends up with a 7th. He was racing on the velodrome then. Taylor was 4th in London in both the time trial and the road race. So it's been an amazing career. And Brad, you've seen him put on the Stars and Stripes jersey many times as our national time trial champion. And someday, I wouldn't be surprised if he would be one of the rare guys that could hold the road and the time trial championship at the same moment.
And a stage winner here at the Amgen Tour California.
Best one, I would say, the best finish of the nearly 90 stages that we've seen. It was one for the ages. I want to welcome Dave Lettieri and his son Cash today. They're coming down from Santa Barbara to watch the racing, and that's maybe the best finish line shot you're ever going to see. Taylor taking a bow.
Yeah, the legendary bow.
So that, I get the feeling, listening to Taylor talking, watch out for guys like Van Avermaet today, the Belgian on BMC. It's going to be a strongman's day. It's going to be a small group, but I'm going to say my guess is 30 to 40 riders in the front group contesting. What are your thoughts, Brad?
Yeah, I think you're right. We talked about the type of sprinters yesterday, the different types of sprinters. You have guys like Mark Cavendish. Those are your pure speed sprinters. He wins the race in the final 200 meters, but then you have guys like Peter Sagan who can have fresher legs after the longer, harder days and sprint against riders who maybe aren't having such a great day. Mark Cavendish got dropped yesterday during the race, going up the really one and only climb in yesterday's race. Now, that's okay because he had plenty of time to recover. Obviously, he had his teammates to tow him back up there. But when you have a situation like that, you really want to make sure that you get your sprinter there and they have fresh legs. He did not have that yesterday from Mark Cavendish, but Peter Sagan did because he's one of the strongest all-arounders who can still sprint at the end. So today may even be a good day for back-to-back wins for Peter. The way that he performed yesterday, if he can do that again today, he'll have 2 stage wins at the 2016 Tour.
I'm 100% with you that I would put my money on Peter going back-to-back here today. As you made some very good points. The harder the stage, the better he is positioned. And he's the kind of guy. And Van Avermaet is another good example of a rider that I would certainly be watching today. They're going to be one of Peter's teammates signing in now on the Tinkoff team. They did a good job of positioning him into the sprint yesterday into San Diego. If you haven't seen a photo, definitely worth the time to get online right now and see Peter in the World Champions jersey posting up there. He actually didn't have a chance to post up over the line as he ultimately had to keep his hands on the bars. He was throwing his bike as he came across.
Quite a bike throw.
Lachlan, good morning. Lachlan Morton just fresh off a big win at the Tour of the Gila in New Mexico. Just seems like days ago because it was just days ago. Lachlan, coming out of that race, we all in the cycling world know how hard Gila is. That's got to be a big boost of confidence for you.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big week for us, especially as a team. So, yeah, we got a bit of momentum coming here. Let's see what happens.
Hey, there's a young man on your team, Chris Putt, who we're obviously big fans of. His father works with our race organization here. For a guy like Chris, I mean, you've been through this drill now. You know, this is like, I'm going to guess, your 4th or 5th Tour of California. It's his first. What kind of things do you try to tell a young man like that? It's got to be a pretty big mouthful he's biting off here.
Yeah, definitely. It's always daunting coming in, first time racing against big World Tour teams and, guys you've grown up watching. But at the end of the day, it's another bike race, and they've all been racing their bikes for a lot of years. So, the biggest thing is just treat it like any other race and get out there and do what you know how to do. So.
Sounds like the team, the whole collective group, the mechanics, the Swaneers, everybody coming out of Gila were really clicking.
Yeah, I mean, from the very start of the year, the whole group clicked really well. We had a few training camps and we always have a really good time, which I think that's where it all starts. Results follow. A good atmosphere, a good environment. So, we've got that going on the team, and you know, we're never short of laughs around the dinner table.
So your brother Gus, we all love Gus as well. And does he ever get on your case saying, why did you get me back into this sport, man? This is rough on days like in Gila, Tour of California. Angus Morton, Lachlan's older brother, was a video editor back in Sydney, correct, before he came back into the pro ranks. That's a big jump, too.
Yeah, he was directing a TV show there. But, you know, he says the worst day in a bike race is better than the best days, you know, in an office. So, you know, I don't think he misses it.
Well, good. We'll have a good ride out there. That's Lachlan Morton, the Australian, Brad, on Gibraltar. If he's not in the first group that goes to the finish line, I will be stunned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's one of the guys, one of the few guys, one of the 30 or 40 guys that you talked about that can really do it all. Make that selection and then obviously be there for the finish, although probably not for him today. They're going to be sprinting for whoever their Jelly Belly rider is. Let's talk about how that works out. When you come to a race like this, everyone has their team meeting before and the team bus. You can see the BMC bus parked just up the road. They got the best real estate in the house right on the finish line, or the start line this morning. Not bad. Anyway, you'll see the riders having their team meeting with the sport director. Everyone has a job. Everyone has a role, and you're basically expected to stick to that unless the team leader on the road decides to change it or the director in the car calls the riders back, and there are certainly audibles being called out there on the road. But in general, you know who you're riding for, and you know your role for the day.
Unless you're a Katusha rider in the Giro today,
Well,
apparently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Time trial didn't go so well.
So Taylor Phinney, always very good at positioning himself. We started a stage at the USA Pro Challenge where his condo was literally across the street from the start line. That was when Taylor was coming back from an injury a few years ago. It's great to see him back and firing in all cylinders here. Interesting first two riders here. Those two have made a couple of movies together, Taylor and Lachlan. They're called Thereabouts. I would call it maybe a study of wanderlust. Two or three guys on their bikes.
Adventure riding, I think we're calling it.
Soul riding.
Soul searching.
Yes, all of that. But they're well worth searching out. That's for sure. Just Google it.
Yeah, what a cool story Lachlan Morton is. A former World Tour rider who left the highest level of the sport. This is like walking away from an NFL or an NBA contract. Basically kind of fell out of love with the bike. He wasn't loving what he was doing anymore. Decided to take
missed
some
his
time
family
off.
and friends.
Missed his girlfriend, missed home. So decided to spend a little bit of time just riding to, well, basically fall in love with the bike again. That he did. And then he comes to the Jelly Belly team, actually signing with his brother Gus. They're racing here together. One of the two sets of brothers that we have racing.
We forgot one. I just thought about this last night. What about Yuri?
Oh, yeah, the Sagans.
Yeah, Pat. We got to add the Sagans brothers as well. Yuri and our man,
Yuri.
Peter.
Well, here's one of the brothers right now.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. Chris Putt, first time we've ever had a chance to talk to Chris on a big tour sign-in stage. You've arrived, my man. We got to talk to your brother Tanner for years. Here you are, Chris. Congratulations. How you feeling?
Good, yeah. Really happy to be here. Like you said, it's my first California, so yeah, it's kind of a win just being here for me.
I would absolutely agree. So I know Nielsen Palace is at 19 years old. How old are you now, Chris?
I'm 22.
22, right? So you're definitely in that group of the youngest riders here, and it's got to be. We were talking to Lachlan about it earlier. You look around, and 10 years ago, these were the guys that you had on your wall and posterized.
Yeah, it's funny. Even 1 month ago, you're watching these guys race in Roubaix and Flanders. So I've done like Tour of Utah and the USA Pro Challenge. And they usually have a good field, but nothing like the Tour of California this year. Like you kind of try and stay out of the big guys' way. Like you see, you got both world champions. You've got like former Olympic champions. So you don't want to get in their way, but it's kind of hard because everywhere you go, there's somebody, there's someone who's won a classic, there's someone who's won the Olympics, the World Championships. It's a crazy big field, so it's hard not to get starstruck for sure.
So, hey, for people who may be wondering, we talk about this being a team sport, but obviously individual glory goes to Lachlan Morton when he wins the Tour of the Gila, but without you and Ben Wolf and other guys on the team, it never would have happened. Tell people, maybe the best you can, what your role is today. You're not here to win the bike race, are you?
No, I think our best shot at winning the bike race is going to be Lockie. For sure, he's the strongest, and he's riding super well. Coming off a win at the Tour of Gila last week. So for a guy like me, our role is, keep him safe, keep him by the front, get him water. If he gets a flat, get him back to the cars, get him back to the field afterwards.
Lachlan seems like the kind of guy, to me, at least off the bike, that isn't big on asking for stuff. Do you kind of just bring him water anyways?
Yeah, you kind of just, I mean, you look at if you need water, then odds are he probably needs it too. So you kind of go back. Yeah, just, he doesn't ask for a lot, which is nice, but, yeah, it kind of keeps it relaxed, I guess.
No, absolutely. You guys have a great vibe. I'm going to talk to your teammate now. That's Chris Putt. What a dream this young man is living for the Jelly Belly team. Jacob Rathy, congratulations. I think Brad will vouch for me. I was lobbying for you during the finale yesterday, feeling pretty strongly that you deserve to be in our Amgen Breakaway from Cancer Most Courageous Riders jersey. So congratulations. Was that on your mind as you came across the finish line, wondering if you'd done enough?
Yeah, it's always a question. I feel like certain races in the past, I get kind of, it's kind of subjective, and I was.
Oh, it's very subjective.
I was, solo for a while, first to attack when guys started kind of messing around, and just yeah.
There's a lot of great stories on your team, the Jelly Belly squad. I don't know if you heard Brad talking about Lachlan's story about coming back. Pretty similar for you as well. I'm sure a couple years ago, if I'd asked you if you knew you'd be racing the Tour of California in 2016, you'd probably say, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I had some problems the last couple years. I had some pain in my leg that was kind of mysterious and turned out to be a kind of a collapsed artery that I was riding with. And, a year ago I came to this race basically knowing what I had and just to see friends that I don't see anymore and just kind of suffer through it. And so I'm really happy to be here in the sport and racing hard.
Hey, and we are too, and you're making your mark already. So, hey, congratulations. Go tell Danny back at the team bus that Brad and I are really running low on sport beans.
Yeah, that won't be a problem.
Thanks, Jacob. Jacob Rathy, what a great, so he's downplaying that story a little bit. What he was basically having happen was one of his legs wasn't getting any blood.
Kind of important for
really
a pro cyclist.
Important. So he has an operation. It's is it iliac? I forget the exact name of that. But where they straighten out that artery, and it helps fix things. And then he has to get back to work and train up. Hey, let me grab a word, Oscar. Good to see you this morning, Peter Stettner. This is our King of the Mountain. Congratulations, Oscar. I never thought of you as a King of the Mountain, but certainly a great day of racing.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah, so talk to me about riding in the breakaway yesterday. Clearly, when the move went clear, you knew you were going to be out there for a while.
Yeah, we went right from the start, and they gave us a big gap, and so we just we couldn't ride too hard because the teams behind they were going to be able to control it no matter what on the first day. So we just raced for that one mountain and tried to hold on to the finish just for the heck of it, but it was a good day.
No, absolutely. It looked like the group worked well together as well. A lot of cooperation out there. It seemed like everybody knew what the task at hand was and not a lot of monkey business.
Yeah, a lot of the domestic teams were up there, so we all have similar goals just to get some representation and have a good time.
I mean, it seems like we're talking with Oscar Clark, our Lexus King of the Mountain. Oscar, I can't remember a stage since going back to the Hincapie days that you've been in this race without putting a rider in the breakaway basically every day. That is the MO for this team, isn't it? Just hunt stages.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of different riders now, but we always like to be in the break. It's fun.
Well, good. Have a great day out there. Oscar Clark in our Lexus King of the Mountains jersey. Teo, let me grab a quick word. So we've never done the climb that we're going to be racing on here today. Have you ever had a chance to look at it before?
No, I haven't, but Jeffrey Curran, one of my teammates, is a local, so he's ridden it a bit and says it's not easy, so I think it'll be an interesting stage.
Teo Gegenhardt out of the United Kingdom racing for the Action Hagen's Berman team. Now, Jeffrey's grandma, do you know where she grew up or, lived right around here? We heard it was like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, I believe it was within a mile of the start here, and Jeffrey's grown up in Orange County, so he's ridden around here a fair bit, so it's a special stage for him, and yeah, I look forward to getting stuck in.
Hey, I've always said that in California, we could basically put together a World Tour team with all of the great racers we have. Jeffrey is one of them, and there's another guy named Adrian Costa. Pretty amazing, isn't it, to see the talent coming out of this part of America? Would you agree with me?
Yeah, definitely. I did the local races here 2 years ago in Redlands and San Dimas that kick off the American calendar, and you can see there's a great depth of racing in California, and it's a big scene here with the criteriums as well. So I think that fosters, great young riders, and there's been a wealth that have come through this team.
There's been so many great riders that have come through your team. You're absolutely right. And I can remember with a lot of them, Teo, that the Best Young Riders competition brought to us by SRAM was one of the things that, it was good to be that, but you came to do more. You came to do a top 3 on the GC or win a stage. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think the whole team as a whole is here to impose ourselves on the race, and that doesn't mean limiting yourself to one category or one classification. So every stage is interesting this year, and we'll look to get up there like Ruben did yesterday with his 7th place.
Thanks, Teo. Teo Gagan, heart of the action team. Hey, Jesse, you're a health guy. This is Jesse Anthony of the rally team. Brad told me that he said he thought you could do in today's entire stage eating nothing but sprouted watermelon seeds. Do you believe that would be true?
Absolutely not. I love ice cream. I'm powered by ice cream today.
Hey, well, right on. So for people who are wondering, Jesse, yesterday, I mean, these aren't really huge days for you guys. You can go 100. They're big days. So what do you have for breakfast on a day like today to get you through what's going to be a 90-mile stage to Santa Clarita?
Today I had some pancakes and eggs, yogurt, fruit, granola, maybe some bonus stuff in there. I don't even remember. But I had a pretty solid breakfast. But 150K, that's, like you said, that's not a huge day for us. So not a ton of fuel. But I'm also thinking of the whole week, so I don't want to get hungry out there.
It's interesting. We always talk about how the recovery is so important. That's no joke, is it?
No, yesterday I had some rice and eggs at the finish, a little salad, and then a burrito on the drive home, and then came back and had some pasta and potatoes and chicken and sausage and all that stuff for dinner. So.
And I mean, to put it in perspective, we're talking about probably in the 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day range right now.
Yeah, for me, probably 5,000 or 6,000. Some of these bigger guys are doing even more, and then there's a lot of climber guys here, maybe keeping it a little leaner. But we're all shoveling food in, and we will be all week.
The team that Jesse rides for is Rally. They ride on Diamondback bikes, but this is a team, if I could be a professional cyclist, it looks like a really fun group of guys to be around. That's part of the secret to the success that the Rally team has, isn't it? There's a camaraderie there that I don't see always with other teams.
Yeah, we definitely have a good time with each other, and most of us have been racing together for a long time, so that really helps to know each other on the road and how we race. So, yeah, we've been having fun. And to be in my home state, California, Amgen Tour of California, it's pretty exciting for me. And to have all the other guys here, like we've all ridden a lot of these roads together. So that makes a big difference.
I saw Dave Lettieri and his son Cash out here earlier. As you get closer to Santa Barbara, your fan base starts to really increase. You have got to be pumped for Gibraltar.
Yeah, Gibraltar is going to be awesome. And I'm actually really excited for the start tomorrow in Newbury Park at Amgen. That's about 2 miles from my house. So the whole local cycling community, a lot of my friends will be out there, and I'm pumped to see them.
Right on, Jesse. Jesse Anthony, always a rider to watch out of the breakaway. Here he is, Rowan Dennis. Rowan, I'm not even going to run through your race resume because this guy has done it all, winning USA Pro Challenge, Tour of Alberta. But, let's add Tour of California to that, my man.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but we still got 7 days to go.
So, hey, I know you've been working hard back. We talked about Etna, and I had to say to Brad after you mentioned that, it's like, where is Etna? And that is where Napoleon was exiled. Is that where you were training?
I'm not actually sure about that, but it was in Sicily, in Catania, so southern Italy, not Spain. Yeah.
So when you're racing in the United States, and actually Brad probably has it with him, a young woman said, hey, is Rowan Dennis here? And I said, no. But he will be, and she said, good, because I've made artisanal meramite. Where is it? Do you have it, Brad? Okay, it's in the car. So she made her own meramite.
What is that?
That's like your Australian yeast spread.
Oh, Vegemite.
Vegemite. Oh, I'm sorry. Meramite is the English one. So it's homemade.
Marmite.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Will you eat it? You're good? You'll try that?
I'll try it, but it's never going to be as good as Vegemite. I'm sorry.
I know. Do you actually? So Vegemite, truly an Australian thing, and this guy is as Australian as anyone you're ever going to meet. Is that something that on a race day you'll put some on toast every day, maybe?
No. I have some at home in Europe, but I don't usually bring it with me because it's quite a big tub, and no one really wants to share it with me in the team. They think it's disgusting. So yeah.
You need to get more Australians involved with the program. So, hey, you raced on the course that we're going to be using for our time trial. How well does that suit you? We were talking about that. I was telling Brad I thought it suits you extremely well. You were second there when we raced, only losing out by a few seconds to Wiggins.
Few seconds, 44 actually.
That's a few.
Yeah, no, it does suit me. It does suit me. So, look, hopefully I don't lose too much time in the next couple of days, and I can still pull out a good time trial, and hopefully that actually helps for the GC. And if it doesn't, well, if I lose time, then I'll just focus on that and working for Brent.
Well, good luck out there, Rowan. This is Rowan Dennis. He's one of our all-time favorites racing here in the United States. Andrew Talansky, good morning, my friend. We have not seen you in the U.S. enough. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy to be back home racing.
And so you live in Napa, California now, so California guy. But, boy, it is amazing these days. If you're going to race the World Tour, you're only going to be here a couple times a year. Is it something that you look forward to, the American fans?
Absolutely. I mean, this year we put California on the schedule pretty early after I had a crash in Paris-Nice, and since then I was looking forward to this. And yesterday, rolling out of San Diego, was just seeing all the people out. It's racing at home. It's special. I mean, this is the biggest race in the U.S., and proud to get to be a part of it.
If you follow Andrew's story, it is definitely not the standard path that a lot of riders had. You had to fight pretty hard to get into the World Tour. I was always impressed by how scrappy you were when you were coming up the 2010 era, Andrew Talansky. Nowadays, when you look back, Andrew, and you see this group of young Americans that we have, are you as impressed as I am by the amount of talent that you've got in that 16, 17, 18 to 20-year-old group?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. You know, obviously, when I was coming up, there was a lot of talent, guys like Nathan Brown, Lawson Craddock, both of who are on my team now. But, I mean, you look at the Axion team here. I mean, I met a kid named Nielsen Paulus for the first time, and he's been doing great. There's a lot. I mean, I think it's just increased every year, and it's nice to see another young generation of American cyclists doing well domestically and over in Europe.
I couldn't agree more. So when you look at this race, is Gibraltar the kind of day that you want to put your mark on? Or are you looking at the whole picture for GC? I mean, obviously every day is important here, but does one stand out to you as your day?
I mean, I would say, you know, we have Lawson Craddock here. He's had a great spring, and we're here supporting him. And so tomorrow will absolutely be an important day for the GC, especially for him. For me, Santa Rosa, that stage 7, that's kind of as close to home as I can get. I love those roads. I know those roads, and I'd like to, I mean, that's the day I'd like to put on a bit of a show.
Okay, I'm going to be keeping my eye on you, Andrew. That's Andrew Talansky. Great to have you with us, Andrew, here at the Amgen Tour California. This is the man we were just talking about. This is Lawson Craddock of the Cannondale team. Hey, it looked like yesterday, nice job by your teammate Wouter Wippert getting up there. Not quite, but darn close. And you know what? Being beat by the world champion is not so bad.
Yeah, it was a good day for us. Everyone on the team really showed they came to race, which is really cool to see. But it was a little tough to see Wouter so close to the win, but he did a great sprint, and the guys did a great job bleeding him out and protecting him. So definitely gives them motivation for the next couple of stages.
You know, Lawson, I know you're from Texas. Did you ever do extended blocks of training in California? Like, would you know Gibraltar?
Yeah, I've been here a lot. I mean, I've done this race 5 times now, and I did a couple of training camps with Axel Merckx's team. So I've been up Gibraltar a couple times before it was paved, and it's a brutal climb. It's going to be a fun race to do tomorrow.
Hey, I saw on social media last night people asking, where are your mom and dad? So where are your mom and dad?
Oh, man, they're here.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
No, I had them make a quick trip at Trader Joe's to pick me up some mango before this. But, no, it's good. They were at the start and finish yesterday and then driving up today, and they'll be at the finish again.
Talansky was telling us that you ate like 2.5 pounds of pistachio nuts last night.
It was a long transfer. Yeah. It was a long transfer.
I guess get another bag.
Oh, yeah. Got to cope with the California traffic somehow.
No, exactly. Well, good luck, Lawson. Obviously, one of the riders, Brad, we're watching for the overall win here. He's been on the podium with a 3rd place before. And this is the Dutchman on Cannondale, Wouter Wippert. Wouter, good job yesterday. What a photo. I saw Kelly put up a comment. Like, it was really, truly so close. And you know you're going to have your day.
I hope so.
So that finale was interesting. Were you guys anticipating that you'd be sprinting into the wind? Did you know what you had coming at you?
Yeah, we definitely know what's coming up, and I had actually a perfect lead out by Dylan, and I waited, and I looked it back. Then I I timed it pretty well, but second was just faster.
Well, and if you look at it, how many other guys went too early as well? That really was the story of the sprint.
Yeah, I heard, the only thing I heard in the last 10K in my ear was like, wait, 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 because it's block headwind. So, yeah, I took that message into the sprint.
Good job, Wouter. Brad, I'm going to throw it to you. Wouter Whippert in our Visit California points leaders jersey.
Actually, while we've got him here, let's go ahead and go right to Jeffrey Kern, who's got some connections to South Pasadena.
Well, certainly your hometown hero, no doubt about it. If your grandma grew up or lived a half mile from here, I think you're our guy. This is Jeffrey Kern of the Action Hagen's Berman team. Hey, Jeffrey, this has got to be an all-time high as far as excitement level goes for you as a racer.
Yeah, it's great racing in a place that my family's been a part of for, I think, over 50 years now. So my uncle has driven the pace car in the Rose Bowl. So it's cool to, race in Highway 2 just right above where I've spent a lot of time.
So there's some really interesting things that go on when you're racing at this level, and one of them is, Jeffrey, coming up as a junior, never use a race radio in your time. Has it been hard adjusting? You can see the earpiece in. This is the first race, I'm guessing, that you would have ever used one, because even as a pro in America, you don't do it unless you're at this HC level.
Yeah, we're a bit of the kids team at this race, so a lot of this stuff is new for us. But the radio, I mean, mainly the big thing is just keeping it in your ear. It's just always falling out. So that's the main thing for me.
Well, it looks like you got it in there pretty well. Now, don't let him sell himself short here. These guys might be the youngest team in the race, but they're also one of the most aggressive. I mean, you guys, clearly the MO for Action is to get riders in the breakaway.
Yeah, we got nothing to lose. I mean, if we're not in the break or, making things happen in the race, there's no reason for us to show up. So when we come to this race, we're here to just give it and try and make an impact.
I was going to use the word surprised, but I think I should use the word impressed. When you look around and see how many of the kids that raced with you as a junior, or maybe a year or two older or a year or two younger, are already having tremendous success, I'm impressed. I mean, are you guys, when you realizing you're part of a movement right now, this young American cycling crew?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you wake up, in California and you see, your teammates in Europe are just winning everything. It's pretty cool. And I think, especially, I've been racing with Logan since I was 15. To see him win Liège is awesome. And then the other thing is it just helps everybody bring up their game because, you see a guy, like I said, you've been racing with since you were 15.
If he can do it, you can do it, right?
Yeah, there's no reason to think, we've done it, together before, so why can't we do it again?
Absolutely. Great attitude, Jeffrey. That's Jeffrey Kern of the Action Hagen's Berman team. Right back to you, Brad.
Yeah, I want to bring back Evelyn Znaimer. We have a special presentation. You got a jersey in your hand. Evelyn, who's this going to?
Oh, this is going to our beloved, honorable Michael Antonovich. This is, he won't fit in it, but
my daughter will.
It is for framing.
Maybe a little small.
And it's autographed by several stars, and I can't read all their signatures, so thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll get you a bigger one to ride with. We're going to get you a bike. You're going to go out on the route today. That's the other present that we have for you. We're going to let you do the entire route today.
What a gift.
Yeah, lucky you. Picked a heck of a day to ride, that's for sure.
One of the things, Brad, it's worth noting, today, 92 miles, certainly not the longest day. We've raced up to 140-mile stages. It's not the length of the stage, it's the intensity. Yeah. And this one is going to be old school fury all day long here at the Amgen Tour.
Yeah, we should point out, these guys can ride 100 miles in their sleep.
Before breakfast. Actually, a guy like Lawrence Tendam racing with the Giant Alpecin team will do 90 minutes of riding at high intensity pace before he eats that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not really what makes it difficult. It's the speeds that make it difficult when you come to the Amgen Tour of California. Because there's so many strong riders here, because of the strength of the field, that's what makes these days difficult. 100 miles is easy, but 100 miles with a 28-mile-an-hour average, that's a little tougher.
Yeah, and no matter how trained up you are, it's Greg LeMond that says, it never gets easier. You just go faster.
Right, exactly.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that sums up bike racing pretty well. That's why that's been such an enduring quote from Mr. LeMond. And
so, Katusha signing in, Brad. They were a big part of yesterday's story, right in the front. But, goes to show you, it's always a gamble. They used resources yesterday and walked away empty-handed.
Yeah, certainly a disappointing day for Katusha. They were riding for a guy named Alexander Kristoff, who was expected to be one of the top sprinters. I think Dave and I both had him on a predictive podium yesterday.
Cavendish, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing with Mark Cavendish. They put all their guys on the front for the last, 15 kilometers. It was a huge pull from Katusha. Unfortunately, they used too much energy too early. They burned through all their guys, and then Kristoff was kind of left on his own in those final few meters of racing.
Boy, when you talk about patience, it's hard to believe patience was so important, but yesterday that was the story of the sprint. Peter used some real experience to uncork that one as late as he did. Walter Whippert was right there with him, but Brad, we realized yesterday how ambitious these sprinters are as well. Everyone comes to the Amgen Tour of California hungry, but only one man will lick his plate clean. When we go to Santa Clarita today, Brad, we've talked a lot about riders to watch, and obviously the reigning world champion will be in yellow as our Tour of California leader. Watch out for Peter to go back-to-back. Let me bring up now, perfect timing. This is our friend Jim Hodge. Jim is a cancer survivor, and Jim, I hope you are feeling great energy out here today. Bike racing and survivorship have had a great relationship. Good to have you.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and I'm just amazed at the crowd and, like you said, the energy in this event. Fabulous cause.
So, Jim, we talk a lot about the team that you need around you when you're diagnosed with cancer. We use the analogy to cycling. You don't do this alone. When you first heard that you had the diagnosis, who did you first lean on, or what was the first person that you found was a comfort for you?
Well, obviously, your family, your friends. I'm not one to kind of hold it in, and so I ended up telling a lot of different people. I'm a dentist, and I shared this with a lot of my patients, and it's amazing. It's when you tell your story, you find stories that are similar, and it kind of gives you comfort to know that you're not alone.
Yeah, it does, and I think I can tell with you, let's step forward with me a little bit here, that the burden of survivorship clearly is something that you get.
Absolutely. I think really it depends so much on the severity of the disease as well as the nature of the treatment as to what kind of coping mechanisms you need. And with me, fortunately, I was able to discover it early and had a relatively conservative treatment. So really, I think the message here is early detection. And the men out there, particularly, this is my message, you tend to avoid the examination process because of the indignities. But believe me, there's nothing dignified about having to go through some of the treatment. So for your family and your friends and your spouse and your kids, I say get an early detection, get your annual checkups.
It's funny, we've always sort of, in a weird way, personified cancer as this horrible person who could care less about your dignity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you now, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but you're going to have a lot of people in the next few years that you're the first person that really is going to be trying to trigger hope, or you're a survivor. Then when they see that, there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, if Jim Hodge can do it, I can do it. And what is the first thing that you like to get through to them when you meet that person?
I would say be open to your friends and your family and the support that they might offer you. Don't hold it in. This is something you do with a group of people, and you can beat it. You have to have a sense of hope throughout the whole thing. Keep your life as normal as possible.
Hey, Jim, I have a pretty cool guy standing right behind you. This is one of the most famous. He's a world champion. He's won 26 stages at the Tour de France. We consider him to be the greatest Tour de France sprinter of all time. But, Mark, this Jim Hodge survived cancer.
How are you, Jim?
I'm fine. I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for being here today. Thanks for being here at the race, and thanks for showing the will to fight as well.
Honored to be here. Nice to meet you. It's an honor to meet you.
Well, great. Hey, thanks a lot, Jim. And you're going to be our official starter today. Mark was hoping maybe a 5-minute head start. Can you let him roll out a little early?
If that's the way it goes, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, good. All right.
High five on that.
Hey, Mark, we appreciate things. Thanks, Jim. And we'll be back with Jim Hodge a little bit later. We appreciate how you go above and beyond things like that and Quebec. Talk about the Quebec program a little bit. Getting bikes to Africa is pretty cool. You got to feel good about that.
Right, so Quebec, it's what we at Dimension Data ride for. It's hang on a sec, I got a director talk in my ear. It's a bit hard to.
Are they? So we've had this before, but so the team cars are now organizing guys while Mark is trying to do an interview. I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
It's all right. They're telling me to go off the stage and get ready to race. No, Quebec. It's an initiative by World Bike Relief to put underprivileged people in Africa on bicycles to help their way of life. Like mostly like kids going to school. You know the distance. You imagine going and walking 4 miles, having to do that every day both ways. How much easier it can be by a bike. So kids going to schools, like healthcare workers, they can cover, instead of a 20-mile radius, they can cover a 60, 70-mile radius. Some entrepreneurs taking, say, chickens to market or whatever. And it's incredible what a bicycle can do for that, you know. It's not just hands out, you know, people have to do stuff for the bikes, but it's something that really I believe in. It was a big draw to me to join the team, and something I'm proud to be involved with.
Yeah, and we're supporting you 100%. And we'll talk more about Quebec and how you can get involved while Mark is out racing today. Last question for you. Have you ever met anyone from Isle of Man in California during the race? Anyone ever come up and say, hey, I'm from...
Yeah, they're everywhere. Manx. I saw someone had a Manx flag to sign, actually, outside the bus, so... Yeah, we pop up everywhere, you know, so.
Well, good. Well, all right. Well, we'll be keeping an eye out. Thanks a lot. That's Mark Cavendish. That's one of the biggest stars in professional cycling today, Brad. It doesn't get bigger than Cav.
Yeah, looks like he's got some fans here in South Pasadena, safe to say.
The Manxmen.
Yeah. These are all...
You got to up your game if you want to compete with the Eritreans.
True that. Yeah. They have been everywhere.
And you know what? We got to get a word with Daniel Tekla-Haymanot. He's a great story. And once again, circling back to Dimension Data, World Bicycle Relief, and Quebec. If these guys are here, you know who's not far away.
Yeah, we'll be seeing our yellow jersey of Peter Sagan making his way to sign in here in just a bit. As we're getting pretty close to race time, just outside of, a little under 15 minutes to start here, as we are on time for a 12:05 start this afternoon.
Did Bradley Wiggins slide by and I missed him?
Let me check.
He did.
Missed him.
All right. So Sir Bradley Wiggins, we were saying the greatest Olympian of all time coming out of the United Kingdom. Certainly the most decorated. Ladies and gentlemen, your defending Amgen Tour of California champion and your reigning world road champion. This is Peter Sagan, the biggest star in racing today, Brad. And Jim Hodge getting a photo with Peter. Yeah, Jim, that's awesome to see.
Peter's going to have a lot of work to do today to defend the yellow jersey, as he'll try and double up for another stage win today.
You know who deserves it as well? And the brother of Peter Sagan. Peter, quick word for you. Late night last night, dinner maybe at 9 o'clock. What did you have to eat last night, Peter?
What was in the hotel?
Whatever they served.
Yeah, rice, meat, and that's it.
Okay, well, good luck. We're going to get you right down there as we're going to be moving into our call-up. Peter Sagan, ladies and gentlemen, signing in here this morning. It doesn't get bigger than that. Here we go. We're locked and loaded. Not a drill. Big-time bike racing back here in South Pasadena.
Well, it looks like just about everyone checking in here on our Breakaway from Cancer sign-in stage, except Team Sky have missed the sign-in today. Not sure what the story is there. I assume they're going to start today. I don't think these are all DNSs, but maybe the team bus got caught in some traffic.
Right now they're wheeling around in Tijuana.
Worst case scenario. Oh, here they are. Don't worry. They're here.
Right,
they're
good.
coming. Everyone relax. So just about 12 minutes to start. We'll let Team Sky sign in, get everyone in on the board, and then we'll go ahead and introduce you to the top riders in this field as we'll bring them up to the front.
I'm sorry?
You want a PSA to fill if you need one?
Discover the city of South Pasadena, only minutes away from downtown Los Angeles and Pasadena. South Pasadena is known for its walkable streets, historic homes, unique small businesses, and top-quality schools. Enjoy the vibrant downtown filled with art galleries, family-owned shops, and great restaurants. South Pasadena has so much to offer, with over 100 acres of beautiful parks, golf and miniature golf at the Arroyo Seco Golf Course, and historic districts featuring beautiful architecture and tree-lined streets. Eat, shop, and play. Those are your things
My 3 favorites.
No work in there in South Pasadena.
Also want to thank our local sponsors for supporting today's event, especially our platinum sponsor, the City of Hope, and our gold sponsors, Gus's Barbecue and the South Pasadena Unified School District, as well as many of our other sponsors and partners that help make this great event possible and bring the Amgen Tour of California to beautiful South Pasadena, California.